All right. We are live Monday night, 7 o'clock. That means transformation. So we are back in studio. Cameron, we've been traveling to Florida, back to Jersey, and more trips planned. I twice, go down there twice to start the process of an amazing mind body technique called neuro emotional technique. Boy, getting ahead of myself. So each and every Monday night, we talk about the concepts that are in this book called Decode Your Pain. And what is that book all about? Well, it's all about recognizing how your body is always talking. See, most of us, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So most of us realize that we have our thoughts that we use and we think with every day and we choose, but we also understand that we have a subconscious realm. We have a below the radar. Now, I don't have a picture prepared for you, or I do, but you can imagine an iceberg where 10% is above the surface of the water and 90% is below the surface of the water. That's the equivalent of the human mind and body relationship to your thinking thoughts, to your wakeful state of thoughts. Meaning, I'm thirsty, I'm going to drink my tea now. Now, hopefully you're catching on. I don't sound 100% great. What are some reasons for that? We're going to get into it in just a moment. But today, we're starting fresh. We have a brand new season. We have a brand new start. So we're starting with the intro to Decode Your Pain. So let's go ahead and bring that up and talk a little bit about what this whole thing about. I love to show the table of contents. But the ideas here, the concepts here that we want to share is Chapter 1, symptoms are the story. Chapter 2, life is symbolic. Intention, right useness. Chapter 4, you are energy. We're going to be talking about that today in more depth. Chapter 5, life is a manobot, which also connects exactly what we were talking about today. However, we're going to be talking about the introduction. The all-time low. We all have been there. Let me ask you, have you had an all-time low recently? Has things been crashing? Have things been shattering? Or are you firing it forward in all cylinders? Well, I know the energetic pattern out there. And I recognize that we're all being challenged in unique ways. And with that being said, the stresses and the strains and struggles of today's environment, today's political nature, today's healthcare nature, today's literally, you can't even go to a restaurant, you can't even go to school, you can't go anywhere, library, without having to deal with these topics that we must deal with collectively as a individual, collectively as a family unit, collectively as a community. But then there's the collective as the human species itself, men and women. So that being said, the all-time low. So let's dive into right here. I believe I have the right button. Yes. Transformations. We started this conversation off with the difference between the subconscious and the conscious, okay? And so the realm of the subconscious, the things that operate automatically in your life, just like the heart beats by itself, spleen does the spleen things, the kidney do the kidney things, the digestive tract do the digestive tract things, even the blood flows, all operating automatically. All of it. And so there's a direct connection between everything in our thoughts, in our mind, in what we've been taught, our beliefs, our perceptions, our expectations, our choices, our decisions, preferences, responses, and consequences all come from an origin understanding called concepts and perception. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you agree or disagree that that healing is based on these simple truths? For one, the body is self-healing and self-regulating. Can you agree or disagree with this concept? Okay. So consider this for a second before you answer. What happens when you cut yourself versus cutting a piece of steak or a corpse? Okay. Everyone knows the answer. Your body heals. Now, sometimes there's cuts and there's injuries that are more severe and some more dramatic action is required. But at the end of the day, what does the healing? I ask you that question. Right, it's inborn. comes with you. There's nothing that's needed to be given to you for you to heal a cut or a wound or an injury. Again, if it's severe or dramatic, well, that's why we have a wonderful medical system that is first class traumatic injury recovery, traumatic injury, life-saving situations and circumstances and therapies and techniques and technologies. By all means, severe injuries, you know where to go. However, with that being said, when we use that severe injury system in the case of wellness, it completely falls on its face. And in fact, easily demonstrable that's harmful to health. Oh boy, that's a wake-up call. And we're seeing the biggest wake-up call of all time happening this week, last week, and I imagine the next couple weeks, as people are waking up to the sprinkle of truth that started to seep out. Thank God. My goodness. It's like, and the reason I'm having some frustration is, well, because it's not just affecting them. Meaning, let's say, for example, if I, don't exercise, I eat all the bad food, and I do all the wrong things, it only affects my life. Now, but imagine if somebody's eating habits and drinking habits affected you personally, even though you ate clean and you exercised well and you did all the right things. Imagine that if your neighbor or your partner decided to do the opposite, that would cause your health to go wrong. That would cause your body to break down, cause your mind to go haywire. How would that affect you? Well, we are experiencing that in this reality right now by the most common pushed mainstream therapeutic intervention known as the jab. But I digress. I want to say hello, everybody out there. Whew, get a little heavy real quick. I'm sorry about that, but I like to bring it raw and real to the point. I don't like to pull punches anymore. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm saying what is truth. What is truth is that we are being lied to at every level. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome to the club. The all-time low, we've all been there. It's the big wake-up call that the people and institutions that we have put in, that we thought were in our place to help us, to protect us, to preserve us, well, quite doing the opposite. So this takes, why am I talking about this? We're talking about because your environment is an indicator, key provider, a key factor into how well you operate. Now, I had a couple things I wanted to show, but now I'm like, I can show this. This work out great. But yes, so I'm on my YouTube channel, Dr. Kevin Jarina, right there, and I want to show you. If you go to this, the first list you'll see is new clients right there. And this first video is by this guy, Dr. Bruce Lipton, PhD. Now, he was one of the main doctors on the genetic project back in its beginning. I mean, this gentleman has broken the basics of science because he proved, as well as many other researchers and scientists, have basically taken everything that you and I were taught to be true and has shown how it's not. Oh, it's sweet, but it's hard when it's the first time you're hearing stuff like that. Because, well, I've seen the way I acted and operated when I had certain beliefs, and then as I woke up through my education, through my studies, through my life experiences, I got to see truth versus seeing what I was told was true. And there's a big difference. Seeing and perceiving and demonstrated what that actually is. Go back to the right thing. However, what I wanted to show you happens to be with a different video, and this video here talks about the brain is the conductor of the human body. However, it's not the only factor that generates all functionality. In fact, the brain is perhaps number 2 on the list. And there's a strong argument for that the heart is one. That's a beautiful thing because, well, it has shown to be true time and time again. The research I share with you is that. But however, what is the point of our conversation? The point of our conversation is to empower you. The important part of our conversation is to demonstrate to you the amazing nature of your human body and that your body is always talking to you. Let me show you what I mean. So in the table of contents here, as we wake up to chapter 1 here, symptoms are the story. I want to point you to the back of the book here. And by the way, for those of you that don't have access to the book now, is a free downloadable, free introduction to Decode Your Pain. Go to the link there, scrolling below, and you get access to a number of gifts, a number of treats, bonuses, video content, all to help you nourish your mind, understand what it takes to start a journey, start a vision, start accomplishing a goal, a dream, something you want to do, something you want to have, something that you need, whatever that may be. But from getting from A to B to manifestation of the reality you're wanting, there are some steps involved. And your body is a key component. Understanding, you've heard your sixth sense, heard the intuition, right? When we learn how to understand that communication from within, then we can make better choices, make better decisions, understand what's bugging us, and then respond in a better way, ignoring it, drowning it out, whatever it may be, getting distracted, not listening to it, doing the opposite, sabotaging. If you can own up to your own BS, your own stories that you believed about yourself, well, then you can free yourself from those things. And that's what this book is all about. I documented each of these chapters are a component, there we are. Each chapter has a patient story associated. It demonstrates a piece of the description of the concepts I'm talking about here. So when we look at symptoms of our story and we start looking at the graph of what different parts of our bodies represent and the emotions and the feelings and the symbolism that goes along with that, you can start to get the picture how our body operates in truth. Now, how can I say that kind of thing? Emotions, our thoughts, it affects our physical body, and that's truth. How can I possibly say that? Well, there's a number of evidence. I'll start with Dr. Candace Pert, because it's on top of my mind, but I just showed you Dr. Bruce Lipton. They were seminal in providing research that proves this type of reality. And I'm gonna type it up right here. I'm gonna pull them up. That way everybody can see it. Walter Russell, PhD. He's an old guy. He's dead now. And let's see if I can bring him up and show you. There we are. Walter Russell. Bring this up. He basically did the work to show us that we are energy, and he proved it. And I don't like to use Wikipedia, but here we are. It's easy, it's online, and there we are. So yeah, he in 1963 is when he passed. Yes, New Thought movement and all kinds of other things. And where I want to point you in a direction is the Alpha Vedic podcast. I'm going to go promote them right now. I'm going to pull that up while I'm talking. I'm going to pull it up and talk about it because it's become so prominent. There was a recent interview I just watched about the nature of our world, what's going on, our Alpha Vedic. Go watch this guy. Tune into this guy. Get on his webpage. Get on his podcast. Get his products. I mean, look, I want people to use me for their products and whatnot, but this guy is amazing. He's out in California. Multiple doctorates. Oh, man. Point being is that we are energetic beings. And I have this video I want to pull up for you to demonstrate a little bit about this phenomena. And when you see this physical thing plays out in our lives. So I want you to turn on to a couple concepts of thinking about listening to music. Okay. And I remember a time when I was in college and I was dating this girl and we had put on some like Sinead O'Connor or whatever. It was so depressing. I just sat there and listened to her and we're on our bed and I'm just like crying. The music just puts you in this state, bringing up all these emotions and da. Well, think about happy music. Think about exciting music. Think about music before sports games, before anything. It gets you into a state. The tones and frequencies around you cause you to be in a different mental state. Whoa. Say that again. The tones and frequencies around you cause you to be in a different mental state. Think of the sun. It's 93 degrees by my phone over here. And with that being said, it's springtime. Well, we're into summertime now, but when the spring happens, the sunlight starts to get longer, temperature starts to get warm, and then the plants, they just happen to all pollinate at the same time because they all got the letter, they all got the email, they all got the text. No. They were aware, they're sensing the environment ripe for the new season to begin. The pollen's released, the new growth happens, and all that goes on. Same with the wintertime. The vibration changes, the energy changes, the situation changes, and there's a response on this physical planet and in the human body as well. I'm just going to drop a word right here. In fact, I'm going to drop it in the chat. I'm going to drop germ theory and terrain. Hopefully I spelled that right. And for those of you that know, maybe many people do not know, our entire medical mainstream system operates on what's called the germ theory. Still a theory. Haven't proved it. In fact, everything being talked about today has not been proven. Not once. Can't isolate anything. So, what's this all about? What's it all about? I'll tell you what it's all about. Creating an all-time low. Now, I want to say we've all been there. We all need to go there. But I am in the camp, and there's lots of evidence I can share with you. This is a war for the mind. It's a battle for your thoughts, and then what you do with that. Because, as I demonstrated from the beginning, there. Go to the first slide. Our concepts and our perceptions give us everything. Our choices, our actions, our desires, what we believe, what we do, what we put in our body. And if you believe the war is inside, well, then you're going to take every measure necessary to eliminate that foreign invader from it. However, clear evidence. Dr. Zach Bush, another great doctor, highly alphabetic Dr. Mark. Terrain theory. And terrain theory has much more evidence because that's what we see in nature every day. And the human body is always in this mode of, buttons, healing, constantly. Body's self-healing and self-regulating, constantly. Constantly. The only issue is, well, it gets overwhelmed. So let's dive back to, I'm going to shift back to this video I wanted to share. And I'm hoping, I'm going to turn the volume off so you don't see anything, but they're talking about standing waves. And they're demonstrating with a slinky that motion basically results in a static image, a static state. And, you know, I'll drop this link in chat so people can get it later. Right now while it's playing. Yeah, right. There it is. They're getting the go. And so they're creating this motion, and you get to see the whole thing going up and down, up and down, up and down. And then they're going to input another force, right? They can see the gentleman on the right holding still, the gentleman on the left is the one doing the moving. In just a moment, they're going to switch the pattern in which how they shake things around. And all of a sudden, you're going to see that this thing, although yes, there's lots of movement, we're seeing the same pattern repeat. And this is what we see all the time in the human cell, in the energies that are being measured, beyond what's done on the heart rate monitor, beyond the EKG, much beyond that. And as I'm learning from continued research, we are energetic beings, and the content in the book, which I'm so proud of, is so right on. And And what I'm really proud of, I mean, even more so than the book, although the book was way more time research, is video here I created prior to writing the book. And this concept, this is basically chapter 5 in video form. But you can see all these. I'm gonna turn this down. Sorry, it's too loud. It's gonna be too loud. So wait. But this is me describing these repeating patterns in nature and in the human body. No matter how big you go, how small you go, it's there. And this, I'll fast forward a little bit. This scientist, when computers came out, decided to try to create infinity into a visual demonstration, so people could see what infinity looked like. And we'll see if it plays for me or not. And what they found was this one image called the beetle. There's a couple other. Looks like it's playing, but into the spots I want. Well, you know, everything was working before, playing before, then being demonstrated before. That was or something quirky's happening when I'm live. I love that. I'm being a little sarcastic. I hope you pick up the tone because we know there's people purposefully silencing others' voices that are not in alignment with the mainstream narrative. Looking for the right words to use so I can keep going. So that being said, when you begin to understand the infinite nature of the human being, the human mind, the energy that it is, well, then all the things that we are seeing in today's news becomes a non-issue as far as what to choose. However, we're being marketed very heavily, and this has been going on for generations at the level of concepts and precepts. For generations at the levels of concepts and I don't know about you, but when I was in school, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, was the first person to America. Now, maybe I missed something in class, maybe I wasn't paying attention. However, that's what I was taught, and that's what I believed for a long time. I'm sure there's things that we find now that are simple and foolish, but years ago, people believed exactly that was the truth, the way it had to be. And anybody else who spoke against it was wrong. Right? So, I mean, time and time again, case. So I believe we are going through a collective transformation, and our integrity is being challenged. So, what was next on my list to show everybody tonight? Well, I kind of got a little bit rambling. I kind of got fired up. I had a lot of communications with people today. Some deep wake-up calls, a lot of red pills. You know what that means. Like red pill, if you're watching this. And so let me get back to the main point of what I wanted to share. Is that when we're challenged, the low points in life, those are actually the sparks of breakthrough. Because in that difficulty is the false truth that you believed about whatever the situation, personal life, social life, recreational, love, romance, career, science, history, reality, whatever it may be, law. There's a lot of untruths out there that have been propagated and promulgated to be truth, not. And just like, around the corner we have the #1 pizza place in the world, right? How many times have you seen that? The #1 hot dog stand in the world, right around the corner here. So the point being is, learn to question, learn to ask, learn to have logic, thinking on both sides of the story. Just believing because there's emotional pressure is the way to a slippery slope to a dark place that none of us want to go ever. And I'm finding a place where, in fact, tonight 8 o'clock I go live every Monday night 8 o'clock after the show, and we talk more about the laws of reality, the laws of the human body, laws of the mind, the laws of nature, the laws of spirit, And you know much of this. In fact, though, you do all of it all the time. Do you know that you're using it the right way or the wrong way? Do you know how to use it the right way? Do you know when you're using it the right way? You know what seeds that you're cultivating are producing bad fruit that you don't want. These are the kind of topics that we go over, and there's 16 concepts that we go over in the 16. And in that 16, of course, there's a deeper aspect to it for those that want to go deeper for their life to do dreams. Part of that teaching, and the one-on-one and the group coaching component, is deep application. Where am I pointing at here? Deep application, not that one, of the concepts and perceptions that are contained in this book as a foundation. But all this, I gotta tell you, all the things I wrote about are based on other doctors and researchers that are just, brilliant. Some of them happen to learn under. Some of them I had to be studying under. Any of them. So that being said, your body and your mind and your life, whenever there's pain, there's symptoms, there's issues, they're telling you something up to. Now the cause sometimes is within, and the cause is external. But there's a mirroring effect, external and internal. As above, so below. As within, so without. Anything else to read you? As above, so below. As within, so without. As I give, so I receive. As I choose, so I create. As I ask, I remember. So I'm going to invite everyone to ask how to create coherence. In, coherence without, always achieving coherence. Blessings and best regards, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you got some value out of today, please go to the website below. Get access to the gifts I've created for you over the last 3 years. Give a thumbs up. Get connected. Look, I've created things to help your life get better. And all that was needed, all that got created because I used it for my life to get better. I realized I was getting frustrated with having to share the same concepts all the practice. I wanted to get in an automated way. This is stuff about the mind, yes, stuff about the body, but how to turn on health, how to turn on well-being, how to feel better, how to feel good, sleep well, all the things. It's turned into a wonderful thing, and beyond my initial vision, which is so delightful. And I'm thankful to be able to say that and report it. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead, connect below, take action, get access, and nurture yourself, nurture your life. I mean, what's more valuable than you? Blessings and bars. Blessings and best regards, everybody.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Kevin Jarina, and this is the first introductory video in becoming your own healer.